subscribe. Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
All right, we're in the building. We're here. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the building and we're here. Round of applause to you. Round of applause to you, ladies and gentlemen. We are in here. If you can hear me loud and clear, everybody give me that fresh, funky thumbs up. Let's do that. Let me know if you guys can hear me correctly, if you can hear me good. If everything sounds good, y'all give me that thumbs up. And before we get started, let me start shouting out some of the regulars up in the room. Show them a lot of love, show them a lot of respect. Let's shout out FBA Said. We got Layla, we got Alante, we got Cutie on Duty, we got Reba, we got Brandy, we got Zuri, we got Sister Brooke in the building, FBA Law, Allison, we got MRK, we got Brother Arthur's in the building, the Black Republican, Michi God, Devontae, Maroc, Noel, Stephanie Hoodoo, Brother McCall. Where's the Tethernator? I'm used to seeing the Tethernator. I don't see the Tethernator. We got Ernez. Oh, it don't feel like it's complete without the Tethernator up in here. We got Sir Mike in the building. All right. So shout out to everybody in the place to be. Much respect. There he is. All right. It don't feel right if the Tethernator ain't up in here. Give the give the Tethernator a round of applause. It ain't complete if the Tethernator ain't up in here now. Oh man, but listen, we're gonna get some calls early because I ain't gonna be on too late. I'm gonna try not to be on too late, but we're here, and I will get some calls early. So if you guys are ready to chop it up, y'all start getting into the request queue. One thing I want to start off discussing, last week I was talking about when people get into interracial marriages, um, and not just interracial marriages, just interracial sexual situations, just like the situation with Shannon Sharp and the OnlyFans white girl. The media and the court systems, they will side with the white person over the black person generally. And this is all across the board. And I was talking about how in many cases you'll see black women who are married to these white zaddies having to end up paying child support, even if they're not married to them. A lot of black women end up having to pay alimony, child support, just different things. They always have to pay off these zaddies. I was just talking about this last week, and I was giving an example how you don't really see the reverse. You don't see white women like Heidi Klum paying off Seal, because she was married to the singer Seal. And Heidi Klum, her net worth was way more than Seal's. Seal's net worth was, I think, like 40 million at the most. And that's kind of being very liberal with the numbers. But her net worth was like between 100 million and 200 million. Heidi Klum, she's sitting on some major paper. She was a former supermodel. So Heidi Klum had, she's a businesswoman. So her paper is long and didn't have to give Seal a dime. You see? And we have to understand how the system of white supremacy works. The system of white supremacy, they got unwritten rules. And today I retweeted a story. There was a sister. She was on the show The Bachelor and then The Bachelorette. This sister, Rachel Lindsay. I know she's a lawyer down in Texas. And she was on The Bachelor, and then I think she was on they gave her own spinoff, The Bachelorette. She was the first black woman lead. So, she kind of got her comeuppance on that. And she does a podcast with my brother Van. What's the podcast? Yeah, she does a podcast with Van Lathan. What is that podcast? I can't think of the name of the podcast. Van Lathan, that's my homie. Van is the homie. So, I don't know too much about the sister. I'm not, dumping on or anything like that. You marry who you marry, you like who you like. So that's not the point. The point is that she married a Zaddy. She got married to this white dude. And then they made her have to pay alimony. She has to give this dude like $500,000 cash, and he gets to keep the condo in Miami. So yeah, they go out of their way to make sisters pay these zaddies. And then black men too. You get with these white women, even if you tricking, you don't have to marry them. You got to give them a form of alimony just for tricking with them. The game is skewed. That's why I get on black folks' cases for co-signing some of these draconian ass civil laws and civil suits and things like that. That's not some shit you co-sign. That's another form of racial hierarchy reinforcement. We can't co-sign that. And I know the argument, well, they shouldn't be measurement with them white peoples. All right, I get it. I mean, you can. That's an argument. That's an argument. Yeah, but they still shouldn't be practicing um, two-tiered justice systems. Now, I'm not going to co-sign that. That's my big concern when they have a two-tiered justice system or legal system. You're practicing law based on race. I have a bigger issue with that over, somebody just kind of dating somebody of the opposite race. So why do they play this game with sisters when they have to pay alimony and child support? They like Holly Berry, she got hit by two zaddies. She had to pay two white men the alimony. The sister Aisha Tyler, she was a comedian actress. She had to pay her zaddy. So you always see these cases where black women, when they get into these interracial marriages, they have to end up paying off these white zaddies. Now, why is that? Let's get deep into that. Let's break that down from a social political standpoint so you can understand racism and white supremacy. See, you always have to break it down so you can understand the context in which they operate. Because the dominant white society, they operate under these unwritten and unspoken rules where they speak about it behind closed doors, but they understand these rules through osmosis, and you need to understand these things too. You see. Hold on, we got Nathaniel in here. Let me see what Nathaniel. I got it here because Nathaniel is usually now he is a suspected op, but he usually gives a contrarian view. So what's the contrarian view on this, Nathaniel?
I mean, Tariq, you're missing a big part of the picture, which is that alimony happens when a richer spouse separates from the lower income spouse. So you have to give
Right.
an so with your tweet earlier, you said, "Oh, well, why does this ever happen to white women and black men?" Well, when has ever a white woman married a black man who is more poor than him or more poor than her?
Heidi Klum.
Heidi Klum.
Yep. Seal has way less money than her.
Are they divorced?
Yes, they are. And she didn't have to pay him shit. And they got kids together.
Well, that's just one example of
Oh,
many.
all right. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. All right. Damn it. Yeah, okay. Shit. Okay. That was easy. Okay. Yeah, that was very, very easy. With some nigga to God. Shit. That's an example right there. They told Seal to kick rocks, nigga. Seal your ass up out this court. Yeah, Seal. He don't make that kind of money Heidi Klum makes. Seal ain't sitting on that kind of money. That woman has way more money than him. And when they got divorced, they were like, all right, well, y'all kiss goodbye, because that's all you gonna get, nigga. A goodbye kiss. And a kiss with a rose, nigga. Sing that when you leaving the court, because you ain't getting no money, nigga. Yeah. Yeah. So, you got these women, these white women, they'll date these dudes who ain't holding. They date these lower income dudes. Cher, the singer Cher, don't she have her a black dude? And some of the little mixed Negroes she's running around with. Madonna, that's another one. Madonna loves running around with Negroes, laying up with them. Ain't breaking bread. Who else? The mama, um, Kim Kardashian's mama. Is it Kris Jenner? Yeah, Chris had her like a little old. Didn't she have her like a Nigerian Negro? Where's that? Yeah, yeah. She had her a black dude. He ain't getting no paper. They're dating, but he ain't getting no paper. Yeah, yeah. These women, they get brothers all the time. They always get some brothers now, but they ain't breaking these brothers off. Now listen, but the sisters, on the other hand, this is my point. Black women, on the other hand, you got to pay these zaddies off. See, the courts, they often view white men as the default victims. See, in the American legal system, it's rooted in white supremacy. So white men, they're rarely viewed as exploiters when they're in relationships with black women. Um, they're looked upon as like a benevolent victim. So that frames the court to kind of lead the divorce in their favor. You know? Also, let's get real deep with this thing. Why a lot of sisters end up having to pay these zaddies, but it's never the other way around. Because you don't see white women having to pay a lot of these white men either. You see a lot of these well-to-do white women, you don't see them breaking bread. You don't see the court making them pay some dude off, white or black. They just don't do it with white women, but they do it with sisters. Why? See, in our society, the white supremacists, they framed black women to be seen as being less feminine and less needy. So culturally and legally, black women are masculinized. They masculinize black women as strong, independent, not need of support. I don't need nothing. See, they use that shit against sisters. That's why I tell sisters, stop all that. I don't need a man. I don't need nothing. I got this. I'm independent. Man, cut that bullshit out. They use that against you. They weaponize that shit against you. They want you talking that. So if you running around here with, I'm strong black woman and I don't need nothing. I'm so independent. So that's a stereotype. Yeah. And it's that makes you look like, okay, you're a capable provider, strong black woman. So provide for this white man. Provide for him. Yeah. So the way you frame yourself is very, very important. The way you frame your own narrative is extremely important. You see? Um, and also, there's a trope that black women use relationships for upward mobility. You see, so there's that whole gold digging thing. They're like a lot of black women are gold diggers and they're trying to get a come up. So this is a way to kind of proxy punish black women through one black woman. So we're gonna punish black women as a collective by making this woman an example and make her pay these zaddies. So how you like that, gold digger? That you gotta understand that's how the white supremacists think. That's their mindset. And see, they don't do white women like that. White women are rarely held accountable to black men. See, white women are protected by both racial and gender privilege. So in relationships with black men, the court, they're not going to view the white woman as financially responsible, even if the white woman is richer. Yeah? White society sees the white woman as needing protection, not as economic providers. They have to be protected at all costs. And successful black women, they're penalized for any form of economic independence. See, once black women become successful, society treats them as if they forfeited any claim to victimhood or protection. So, like in divorce court, that translates into them being responsible for the well being of the man. especially if he's white. Because see, white men are legally and socially trained to exploit the system. See, white men, regardless of their status, they always have greater access to legal resources and networks. See, they know how to navigate through the court, play victim, and benefit from all these racial and gender-based systems that were basically designed for them, by them. Not for black men, not for black women. So white dudes know how to go and finesse the court. They already know. White men go in knowing that the court system is set up for them. That's why I don't let nobody run around with the whole ain't no white supremacy because it's a broke white man. I don't have no money, dude. Where's the supremacy with me, dude? I have $15 in my account, dude. I don't have supremacy. I ain't got no money, dude. Your whiteness is money. Your whiteness is money. All you got to do is just be white. You go up in the courtroom, especially against a black person, boy, you already got an advantage. Yeah, your whiteness is money. Kyle Rittenhouse, I always use that example. His whiteness was money. A black person couldn't pay a court. t- There's no amount that a black person can pay to have a court bend over backwards for a defendant like they did for Kyle Rittenhouse. You know, that was the white dollars, meaning the skin. You see? Another thing, y'all got to understand how this race play thing works out in relationships. See, white male intimacy with black women, that's seen as sacrificial. See, there's an there's this narrative that a white man being with a black woman is like somehow charitable or brave, or he's taking one for the team. You see, he he's going to lower himself as a sacrifice. That's how they look at it. So the courts will subconsciously reward white dudes who are in relationships like this when the relationship ends. Because see, the racial hierarchy has to be reaffirmed by economic compensation to the white man. It's real heavy stuff. Just like with hell, it goes the other way too with white women. It's like certain white women, they get with black men and it's almost like a sacrifice. So yeah, you can flip it around and say, well, I was really a victim and let's take these brothers down together as I get paid. This is like with the Shannon Sharp situation. So the white woman who was sending text messages about licking ass and all of this stuff, now she's seen as a victim and a sacrificial pawn in the game, where she's going to help a lot of other people in the dominant white society get a bag out of this black man. So she was sacrificing and taking one for the team to a certain degree. These white supremacists think deep, man. It's really deep with them. You see, and see another thing, man. The media, they normalize the whole black woman provider trope. From Oprah to other popular TV characters, the media, they portray black women as saviors and caretakers, especially in these interracial relationships. So black women, they are expected to quote take care of the man, especially if he's white, even in the divorce. See, and also the key thing is white supremacists, their framework, they punish the whole racial line crossing. There's like a quiet racial punishment that happens when black women succeed outside of their assigned place. And then when they marry a white man and then divorce him, see, that opens the door for the court to reassert control by redistributing her wealth back into whiteness. See, yeah, they don't like, black, because a lot of black women, you get successful, then you start flexing. You're like, hey, look at me. I'm an accomplished lawyer. I'm a doctor. I'm a this, I'm that, and I got this, and I'm successful. And I'm gonna get me a white man, and he's gonna be my boy toy. And then when things go left, they said, okay, well, we're going to redistribute some of that good money that you love bragging about. We're going to bring that right back into white society. so they can maintain the racial economic order. They do this with black men all the time too. I'm not just singling out black women, but a lot of black women who date these zaddies, they think they're somehow exempt from the racial politics that comes with that whole thing. So that we just need to understand all of those racial politics that go along with it. Because it's a constant thing. All right, we got a lot of people in here. Let's raise some of those hands. Let me see who's up in here. Let's get Cleveland Bryant. Cleveland Bryant in the building.
Yo, yo.
What's up, Cleveland?
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you, bro?
Do you know if it's my first time calling, man. I listen to you all the time. But do you know if Nick Cannon ever got money from Mariah Carey?
You know what?
I know he work a lot, but
I don't know, and because I never and Nick is the homie. I love Nick. Nick is a good dude, very good
yeah,
dude,
he cool, man. He
very good
cool.
brother. I don't know if he probably didn't, because Mariah probably had all types of hellified prenups and all of that. So I don't know, and because that's the homie, I wouldn't discuss that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't discuss that publicly, just out of respect to the homie. But yeah, but Nick is good. Nick is good. He's good to go. So that's what it is. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't discuss my brother's stuff. Um, let me see. Y'all raise those hands. Everybody raise those hands. Let's get what was this Dark Pope? Oh, this is the South African. Oh, this is the South African dude, I think. Dark Pope, what's up, man? Dark Pope, we're gonna wait for him to unmute that microphone. What's up, Dark Pope? How are you, man?
I'm okay, my brother. Hey, man. Can I speak to you about the Dion Sanders issue
Yeah,
and Shudua Sanders racism there?
yeah. What now? Can you speak up because your phone is a little low?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you hear me now?
A little bit better. So what's the deal with Deion Sanders?
All right. Tariq. Most people are saying that Shuda is not being attacked racially. All right, but there is this like deep hidden racism right there, because when you look at Dion Sanders, he has managed to do what most white coaches have never been able to do in college football. He brought life into college football.
Yep.
Right now, like people like me in South Africa, we are watching college football
Wow.
because of Dion Sanders.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we never had interest before to watch college football. Before, it was not even a thing. But because of Dion Sanders, he has managed to bring more viewership into college football. Like Colorado was the most watched team. So, and then most players from Colorado had been drafted into the NFL right now. So, like, this is just deep jealousy, racism. They are playing it low key and saying that young man is too cocky, blah blah blah. It is nothing to do with his cockiness. Most young people are doing the same thing. They are being too flashy. They are doing everything that Shude is doing, but they wanna blame that young man. You know. So this is just pure racism. Okay. One last thing, Tariq. Like, if ever Shude maybe might have went to that Manning Academy or something like that, he could have been drafted number one on that draft. But because he was developed by a black man all the way from elementary school to middle school to high school to college, now he's been drafted. And they cannot stomach that thing that, you know what, this top player has been developed by a black man
Right.
all the way from infancy to the NFL.
Yes,
It
sir.
is just pure racism, sir.
Yes, sir. But thank you so
Thank you,
much.
man.
Thank you, Dark Pope. All right, Dark Pope. That's Dark Pope from Africa. Shout out to Dark Pope. Let's get O2K. O2K in the building. Unmute your microphone.
Hey, Tariq, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on?
What's going on, Tariq? I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. So another thing is that Angela Judge, who was helping out or quote unquote helping out Carmelo Anthony as well, they really got on her case about that just because she lowered the things. All the white supremacists are pretty much, kind of pissed about that. But I don't know if you saw this story about this 11-year-old kid who had killed himself, and they're blaming his parents. They're blaming um, everyone but that teacher kind of had to play a case in them bullying that little boy. Did you see that story?
Yeah. Now, who was bullying him exactly? Because I know the
Apparently the
teacher was in on the
students.
bullying.
Apparently the students, but the teacher was saying all kinds of mean stuff to her. I don't know. I could put it in the jumbotron or in the message box for it, just for you to take a look at it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll check out the details of it. Yeah, because I've seen a little piece of the story. I just haven't gotten too deep into it. All right. Let me see. Y'all raise the hands. Let's get Jeremiah in the building. Brother Jeremiah in the building. Brother Jeremiah in the building. All right. Jeremiah, hop on in.
Hey, Tariq, man, I appreciate everything you're doing for our community. I did order Race Baiter because I need the help from your book to navigate through white supremacy
Yes.
because it's a bitch out here dealing with these white people. Even when they see that you got something or you're coming up, you got a new car, and it's better than theirs, and you working in the same, kind of environment, they're, they'll come up to you and say, hey, that's a nice car. They start talking about things that you have. But anyway, what I
Oh,
really
yeah. And
wanted to,
also, yeah, when they do that, understand when they start doing that, that means they're about to plot against your ass.
yeah, I'm reading your book, so I'm gonna try to get through all the way to the end so I can get up on game because I need that, and I think a lot of brothers and sisters need that game too. So I appreciate it. One thing I wanted to say real quick about Shador. I live in the Cleveland area, and out here we're on call. We're gonna support Shador when he comes here. We
Yes.
already gonna get the jersey. I'm gonna get it. He has it on his social media as a link. You can get the jersey on his social media. But we're gonna go to the game. I'm already planning it out. Me and my boys, we're gonna go out there and support Shador. So we're happy to have him here in Cleveland. We're gonna show
Yes.
him love and respect.
Yes,
Thank you,
indeed.
Tyree.
Thank you, brother. Yes, indeed. I'm gonna get the jersey too. We gotta show love and respect to the brother.
I need some more work, baby, tonight. Ooh, I need some more work on me tonight. Ooh, I need some more work, baby, tonight.